brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the cabin.
Lekter, that is quite the Pink Floyd hoodie you've got on over there.
Quite in what way?
It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Very old, too. It's become a relic.
Now, British people use the word quite to mean an entire spectrum of emotions.
Oh.
Ranging from sheer joy and...
Well, that's what I wasn't sure. Is like there's a lot of emotions in that spectrum. You might be like, that is some hoodie, mister.
Quite the hoodie. AJ, you've brought fidget spinners into the studio. How's 2016 treating you?
Great. I didn't order these. They just showed up.
What do you mean they just showed? What, fidget spinners of just like the Jehovah's fidget spinners? What's going on here?
They're making a forceful comeback through Canada Post, I guess.
Well, the SMR like
and
yesterday?
they work well too.
Oh,
yeah, I went and checked the mail, and I had this package addressed to me, to my address, from some Chinese company. I was like, what did I order? And what did they call it? They called it a decompression finger tool on the bag.
I've called you a decompression finger tool many times.
So maybe that's who they were addressing it to. Maybe that wasn't the item itself.
I would have been expecting one of those old Chinese finger traps.
That's kind of what I was like, what did I order?
Huh.
And then, yeah, sure enough, I open them up, and there's just a red fidget spinner and a blue fidget spinner.
Which one did you swallow?
No idea. I haven't swallowed any of them. They're both right here.
This one's a little wet.
That one's like, okay, I didn't fully swallow it. I tried, and it came back up again.
Okay.
So the good news is, from my point of view, we have not ordered cabin radio fidget spinners. I was just worried for a moment there that we might have gone back in time several years from a merchandise point of view, but it's okay. Welcome to Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
So AJ got sent a couple of fidget spinners by a random Chinese company in the mail. Not quite sure what they're trying to get him to do, but clearly they have an agenda. I'm more interested in what should cabin radio be doing merch-wise to really recapture lost decades. Because we could do fidget spinners, and you now see them in occasional stores stacked up by the dozen because somebody missed the memo by just a month or two, and now nobody wants fidget spinners anymore because there are now more fidget spinners than there are mosquitoes in the world.
They've definitely fallen into the promotional material camp, haven't they?
They have.
Nobody buys fidget spinners anymore. You just get them free from some company who's branded their name on them.
Yeah.
These don't have anything on them. They're just blank.
Yeah, they almost look like they're 3D printed.
Oh, maybe they are.
Like they're very, like this one especially. They're kind of cheaper, but they work really well.
They're really loud.
Yeah.
Fidget spinners are supposed to be like quiet.
I think they're
smooth.
About a fidget volume.
Fidget volume?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say they're about a fidget volume. I was shocked when I gave them a whirl. Obviously, you got to take them for a test drive. Yeah, they work pretty good.
Along the same lines, yesterday I was having a conversation through our Instagram account with a friend of mine in the UK who asked if we had any mouse mats. And Sarah, our reporter, who also has access to the Cabin Radio Instagram account, said, well, what's a mouse mat? And I was terrified for a moment. I was terrified that she was too young to remember the concept of what I would call a mouse mat. Thing you put your mouse on to move the mouse around more smoothly. Turns out they're known as mouse pads.
Yes, even you were confusing me
in North America.
Myself on that one. I didn't know what you meant.
Yeah, so mouse mat is the UK name for that. But Sarah's like, what's a mouse mat? And I looked at her. You've got to be kidding me. You're in your mid-20s. If you can't remember the phenomenon of like the mouse pad, then God help us all. A cabin radio mouse pad.
Oh, with the gel for your wrist?
Yeah.
The support?
Yeah, those were lovely.
Oh, those were good.
Always picked apart after a year and a half because people are just just you can't
because
resist.
They didn't have a fidget spinner.
Yeah, right? Yeah. They could have worked together really nicely, mouse pads and fidget spinners, but no, years apart.
So we're going to put together the cabin radio mouse pad fidget spinner combo deal.
Yes.
Maybe we'll throw in a fanny pack because that feels to me, if ever a combo deal was crying out for a fanny pack, that's the one.
We'll deliver them to your door on a hoverboard.
Speaking of delivering merch, AJ was not happy with you yesterday.
Me?
Yeah.
There was money on the table, and I said, "What's this, Alice?" She said, "Oh, that's from posting." I said, "Well, where did you get the money from?" The cash box. The cash box?
Well, where else? What?
I just need to know when we take money out of the cash box.
That's
I gotta
petty
record
cash.
it all.
That's the petty cash
cash,
box.
the free pops.
See, now I heard this all unfold, and I wasn't sure if it was the fact that you had broken either the cash box rule or the shipping merch rule that really upset AJ.
Oh, yeah. No,
It's
I've shipped merch. I'm pretty relaxed on the shipping merch.
No, you're not. You go nuts whenever anyone tries to ship merch out of territory. I did it while you were away under the cover of darkness.
I'm easy breezy.
Well, I thought it was
nothing bothers
I
me.
even got the intern to do it to cover my tracks.
I thought it was especially funny because you have made a point. Like when that happened, that person messaged about a piece of merch. You were like, yeah, okay, here's what we got. And it just became a whole thing. They were like, oh, is that all you've got? You're like, no, we've got these two. They're like, oh, okay, well, what sizes have you got? Well, that's not going to work for me. And it just became this whole headache that I think you regretted wading into after a while. And then you finally got it done, sent it off, and it turns out AJ's
I found out.
not happy with how you did
Found
it.
out.
We should play you a song and then play you some news while I just delve into this situation a little more.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Happy birthday, Lekter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I got you 2 fidget spinners. AJ, could you just...
Oh.
Are those mine?
Yeah.
From China?
Surprise.
Oh, China, you shouldn't have.
They are our biggest investor. The least they could do is send us a couple fidget spinners every once in a while.
Oh, they're just the best. Keep us going financially. Send birthday presents. Oh,
Are you one of those people that just doesn't tell anyone that it's your birthday?
I told me last week. I just...
I was...
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
I won't lie. I slyly came in this morning kind of being, taking that sassy approach where you're like, is anyone going to notice? Is anyone going to appreciate me without me having to tell them?
We didn't.
And they didn't.
No, not even a little bit.
Big fail.
I did make a
Big
comment
fail.
to Ollie. I was like, Scott's really glowing today.
Well, now that I look at my calendar, it's got Scott's birthday written on it in big
I
letters.
told
at the
you
top.
last week.
I know.
AJ, you have an
no.
excuse. I don't
Yeah.
think I told you.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I know.
Ollie, on the other hand.
The irony
It's
is,
okay. You got a lot going on.
even last night, I was like, oh yeah, tomorrow night, Scott's birthday. That's going to be good. Fell asleep, woke up this morning, nothing.
What are we talking about today?
Yeah.
What's happening in the world?
Yeah, nothing. Gone.
It's also not a huge milestone birthday either.
What are you talking about? It's my Patrick Waugh birthday.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, well.
It means
Actually,
I
when you
get
put
to
it that
be-
way, it does seem a little more interesting.
Well,
Does it?
It's very
Yeah.
special.
Yeah, it does.
It means I get to be brash and cocky all day, be physically violent with anyone who comes in my crease,
I can't wait
and I get
to
to
see
speak
this.
with
I get physically violent with anyone who comes in my crease, regardless of the day.
and I get to speak with a charming French accent all day. I'll leave
wait.
that off the air for your sake.
No,
Ollie.
come on.
I know you don't like
Come on.
fake French accents on the air. We've been over this.
Let's hear it.
No. I'm not going down that road.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm not getting blacklisted like Letete.
Okay.
Tete.
Oh, that guy took like a year and a half to dig himself out of all
Taylor
this.
Syracuse from Pitt, who came in here with some kind of ridiculous French accent
I do remember
and
that.
refused to drop it for the entire 8 minutes
He
that he was
committed.
on the air.
Was it French or French Canadian? There's a little bit of a difference.
I mean, no, you justify, you legitimize it by suggesting that it may have had some sort of cultural base.
Or it was even close to a real accent.
It was a Yellowknife kid doing a bad accent, is what it was.
Hey, I know all about that.
It took me a year and a half to even be able to look at him.
Yeah. And I don't want to do that to you. I know it's my birthday. I can get away with a lot, but I'll stop there. I'll stick with just the brashness and the physical violence. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
So unselfish. So unselfish. Gosh. You just get better and better with age. Like a fine wine.
That's what happens. Oh, actually, by the way, your mother sent me a happy birthday message.
Oh, come off it.
Oh, she remembered.
Yeah, your mom remembered.
Thanks. Thanks,
I'll read
Babs.
it out to you. She said, happy birthday, Scott. I would send you a flying saxophone, but I guess it's just too far. Have a lovely day, and don't work too hard. Look forward to meeting you one day, Babs.
Honestly, Mum, it
Lovely.
probably isn't too far if you just put your back into it, knowing you. I'm fairly sure. If you're wondering why a flying saxophone is involved, you may have missed that show. Look in our podcast. I'm relatively sure the title of that day's podcast is going to involve the word saxophone.
Might have been flying saxophone, yeah.
Yeah. That's the one for you to listen to. That story is probably in the top 5 mornings at the cabin stories.
It's definitely running in our on-air highlights that we rotate once in a while now.
Yes.
It's in there now.
You will be able to get a taste of that. Maybe even later on today.
That was such a nice story. It was because I think we were talking about noisy neighbors at the time.
Yeah.
And I was complaining that my neighbors seem to argue at a very loud volume.
Oh, really?
And keeps me up.
Oh. My neighbors are quiet as mice.
Well, how nice for you.
Yeah. I love my neighbors.
So Babs got in touch, and she was like, well, you think you have noisy neighbors? Have they ever thrown a saxophone down the stairwell? So maybe stop complaining.
Touche.
Moral of the story, don't live next to my mother. She will throw instruments at your face.
Yeah, so that was lovely.
Why'd you buy this drum set? Oh, so I can roll it down the stairs. I'm having a bit of a feud with the neighbors right now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh, Babs.
Yeah, so happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday, Lekter.
Thank you very much.
So I look forward to celebrating that a little later on, now that I've been reminded that it's a thing.
Scenes from the cabin.
You're late. Sit down. My name is Zed. You're all here because you are the best of the best. Marines, Air Force, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, NYPD. And we're looking for one of you. Just one. What will follow is a series of simple tests for motor skills, concentration, stamina. I see we have a question.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe you already answered this, but why exactly are we here?
Son?
Second Lieutenant Jake Jensen, West Point, graduate with honors. We're here because you're looking for the best of the best of the best, sir.
What's so funny, Edwards?
Your boy Captain America over here. Best of the best of the best, sir. With honors. It's just that he's, really excited and he has no clue why we're here. It's just, it's really funny to me. You all ain't laughing, though.
Okay, let's get going.
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guess to mailbox@cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including Zehabesha, Main Street Pizza, the Woodyard Eatery, Copper House Restaurant, and Javaroma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win, or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
As you will have heard earlier in the week, we have an important duty to perform here at Cabin Radio this week. We must name reporter Emelie's cat. Cat's current name, Little Hulk.
Which is pretty cute.
Pretty cute name. But Emelie's like, nah, I don't want to call the cat Little Hulk. All right, fair enough. The cat needs a new name. And this brings us on to the topic we have not covered previously, which is pets that arrive with names someone else has already given them, and what do you do about that? AJ, you are well known for having a dog in town, usually not sure where in town, but somewhere in town, called Dre. Dre arrived as?
Checkers.
Checkers the dog.
Checkers the dog. He's a all-black dog with a little bit of white on his chest. Checkers is what they landed on.
Okay.
And that was an SPCA name, so I don't know. No one knows what his name was before. Only he does.
Did you give any thought to keeping the name Checkers?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay.
No, I was thinking of names the second I learned that his name was Checkers.
So, when I lived in Fort Liard, there was a dog that would hang out near the trailer that we lived in. And it was such a cute dog. And I was kind of half a mind to adopt him. And I was building myself up for that. But of course, we had no idea what the dog was called. There's no collar, no name tag on him or anything.
Wait, building yourself up. Did you think you were going to, make a proposal to this dog and he was going to be like, I'll have to think about it. And your emotions, you were just, resting on the line. Don't let me down, dog. What are you going to do?
It was more that I was building myself up to just lobbing him in the back of the truck and driving away from him.
I see.
So
to commit a crime.
Yeah, essentially to steal a
building
dog. Because I didn't know whose the dog was. The dog didn't appear to have any owner.
It sounds like it was definitely a stray.
Yeah.
Did it have a collar?
So no collar. But
it's a stray.
So I named the dog, slightly pretentiously, Zephyrin. Which is a French name derived from the west wind that blows through the Pyrenees.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
So Zeph for short.
Holy.
So Zeph and I would hang out on walks and stuff. What?
Zephyrin.
Zephyrin.
That is the most
Zehyyr
pretentious dog name I've ever heard.
That
Zephyr.
is
Dog name.
majestic and awful.
So Zeph and I would hang out, and then I discovered after a few months that there was a kid in town who laid claim to Zeph.
Oh.
And I felt 20-odd-year-old at the time.
Oh,
I
no.
felt this was a tenuous claim that this 8-year-old had on this dog, but ultimately had to respect it. And I, with dread in my voice, said, "Well, what's the dog's name?" The dog was called Candy.
Oh,
There was a bit of a gulf
Candy.
between Zephyrin and Candy in terms of how we had approached the naming of the same dog.
This dog just couldn't win.
No, the dog really couldn't win. No matter which way the dog turned, there was somebody prepared to give the dog an atrocious name.
in the dog's head, he probably has a real name. He's like, my name's Greg.
Yeah.
Stop calling me these stupid names.
Yeah.
I think we
So-
also need to take a moment and remember the cat in Fort Simpson.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Of course. Poop Stain the cat.
All right.
Famous
Yes.
of the Mackenzie Rest Inn in Fort Simpson from a live broadcast in fall last year where it was discovered live on the air that the cat's name was Poop Stain,
Yeah, little pea stain.
which of course has now been renamed to Cheeseball.
What?
Again, an animal that cannot win.
Ugh, all these
Um,
compound words.
Yeah, so the cat.
Why?
They renamed Poop Stain afterwards because apparently it wasn't. I don't know. There were issues. People raised unspecified issues with the name Poop Stain for a cat.
What could you possibly not like about that?
I know. And they went for Cheeseball. Then I have two cats. One is called Cheeseball. The other is called Cheesy.
Oh, that's just confusing. Oh, my goodness.
So sometimes
Aw.
people don't necessarily get it right with the renaming. Sometimes people don't rename when maybe they should do. Not to mention you for a second time on the show, Mother, but you've got two pugs. One of them's called Charlie. That's a great name. Love the name Charlie. It's my middle name.
Yeah.
One of them's called Dumpy.
Dumpy.
Now-
Aw.
Poor thing.
Dumpy arrived with the name Dumpy.
Right.
Dumpy shouldn't still have the name Dumpy.
No, you got to change that.
You've got to change that.
Was Dumpy discovered at a dump by any chance?
I don't believe so.
No.
I honestly don't believe. What is the etymology behind the word dumpy in this instance? I'm sure we'll be told in the form of a staccato Facebook message in the next 5 minutes of my life. But yes, Dumpy the pug, who I do feel should have been renamed.
Day is still
Dumpy
Dumpy?
To this day, remains Dumpy
Little
in
Dumpy's
at
running around
least
the house.
two senses.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Oh,
poor thing.
I need pugs. Pugs need something to lift them up because they're already kind of dumpy as it is. So
Oh,
you need
here we
to
go.
Give them some kind of like dignified name, right?
It's capital letters, everybody.
Uh-oh.
OMG! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Oh, very hip, Babs.
And I'm going to do this. I'm going to interpret the capital letters are not everywhere, so you'll tell from my voice where the capital letters are.
Okay.
OMG. It is short for dumpling! And it really suits her!
Okay, well that's okay.
Dumpling.
I
Okay,
don't
well,
mind
that's
that.
very British. Yeah, I like that. Dumpling. You know,
Dumpling.
Well, I shall bear that in mind
close to darling.
when addressing you in future.
Yeah.
Dumpling.
Dumpling. Dumpy for short. Just call me Dumpy.
You know I don't need telling twice. Okay, my final one of these, and I feel like I may have told this story before. I used to have a mouse when I was a kid called Marcus. Again,
Aw.
I don't know. I just go for quite regal animal names. What do you
Yeah.
want from me?
He seems quite intelligent.
Yeah, right.
Sounds like a detective.
Not Mark. Marcus.
Marcus. Yeah. And I spelt out his name on top of his cage in Boggle cubes. You know the game Boggle? You get
course
those,
you did.
those little letters? Like, because they're the only thing I had in the house to, like,
This is
spell
very
out
on
his name.
brand for
Right.
you.
Oh, right.
You didn't have any markers. You had Boggle.
Yeah, but I had a mouse called Marcus, not any Marcus.
Ah.
Fine. So I spelled out Marcus on top of the cage in these
Okay.
Boggle cubes. But of course, Boggle cubes 6-sided, and they've got letters on all the sides. So my stepdad at the time didn't read off the side that was facing the front.
Uh-oh.
He read off the side on the top, and the mouse was henceforth known as Nalimwa.
Nalimwa. Which is right up there with Zephyrin as far as I'm concerned.
So we had Nalimwa the mouse for the rest of its days. And in fact, yes. So there you go. Apparently, my mother says it would have been cruel to change Dumpy's name, and if everyone met her, they would know.
That Dumpy suits this dog.
Well, you don't want to confuse the
That's
little
almost
dumpling.
worse.
Well, my apologies to Charles and Dumpling, listening over in Scotland this morning. Charles and Dumpling. That sounds like a BBC One late night comedy show. We need to name Emelie's cat. Lekter, have we reached the point of being able to show Emelie's cat to the world?
It is on the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page. If you go right now, you will see an adorable video of current working title Little Hulk, as well as a couple pictures, one with Emelie cuddling Little Hulk, and Little Hulk, she has mentioned the word terrorist while referring to Little Hulk in the past.
Not Little Hulk.
You look at the one picture with Emelie, those eyes. That is a cat that has got some
Are you accusing
some spunk to it.
Are you accusing a cat of having the eyes of a terrorist on
Yes.
live radio?
Look at this picture. That cat has
Got an agenda for sure.
I mean, I know the Cabin Radio lawyer's coming in already this morning. I feel, do you want to just check this one out while you're at it?
Terrorist eyes.
I think Little Hulk is a pretty solid name. I don't know why Emelie doesn't want to stick with that one, but we'll see what our listenership can come up with. So yeah, go to the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page. If you don't already like the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page, like it, and then go and suggest a name for Emelie's new kitten.
You've got the eyes of a terrorist.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
The cat naming is proceeding apace over at the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page. Emelie, the reporter's cat, initially known as Little Hulk, which I quite like.
It's a great name.
Seems other people have some different ideas. What have we got going on, Lekter, in the cat naming stakes?
So we've had a couple of comments. Melinda got into contact with the name. I assume this was a name suggestion at first. It was Ebola, which of course has a slightly negative connotation.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a contagious choice. Sorry, Ebola. You can't call a cat Ebola. You just can't. You know, there are some countries that have those lists of things you cannot name children. That is on Canada's list of things you cannot name cats.
Is it actually?
Can't call a cat Ebola.
Oh, we gotta get that over. It's a cute name without the negative connotation.
My little cat's Ebola and Zika. Like, no. Come on.
I'm infected with love.
All right.
That was a bit far. So yeah, Ebola is one suggestion, and Stuart commented with Chase Battle Cat,
which I like. It's in the vein of Little Hulk.
Yeah,
it implies there's like Battle Cat.
Bit of aggression there.
Yeah. I mean, gotta be difficult if the cat grows up to be like an aggressive type and is involved in any kind of altercation to defend that. It wasn't my lovely Chase Battle Cat. Wouldn't hurt to flee.
And if you look at the video on the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page post, Little Hulk is kind of going to town on what appears to be a yoga mat for the first few minutes. So yeah, I mean, I don't know that a aggressive name in the vein of Little Hulk or Chase Battle Cat doesn't suit this cat.
Yeah,
so,
it's a training montage.
Yeah, that's right.
Shadow Hunter has just come in from Shelley.
Ooh, Shadow Hunter.
Like that's a bit intense. I feel like that gives the cat a lot to live up to.
I feel like that's its superhero name. Although Little Hulk also works in that. Little Hulk is actually it's really emerging as a very well-rounded name.
I do like it.
Yeah.
Laser Pointer Hunter, probably more factually correct.
Crazy ass
LPH
killer.
for short. Yeah. I do like Little Hulk. All right, keep those suggestions coming in. Something's got to be better than Little Hulk.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.